Hey and welcome, Miss Kira Speaks. Please do your girl a huge favor, stick around to the end of the video. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and share with your friends, and make sure to turn on your notifications. Baby, sidebar, listen, Linda, YouTubers, okay? I don't know how y'all work full-time jobs and then come home and cook and clean and then do videos. I'm tired. That's why I feel like the weekend is always been my sweet spot. And then, child, I'm about to go off on a whole tangent rambling. It's a cooking night, so I'm gonna probably record this tonight, but I'm probably not gonna edit it till tomorrow. Yeah, that's how it's looking. And the school year ain't even started. Anyway, you're not here for that. You are here for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 13. Yes, I know, Peach Passion. So as the episode opens, it is Christmas in the A. We are checking in with the Rosses and the Tuckers, and they're talking this movie. We check in with Marlo, and she's doing yet again another holiday shoot with the boys, which, you know, like I said, I love to see it. And they're going over Christmas plans. And let me just squeeze this in here, because you know, if you leave it up to me, I will leave Marlo out of the episode altogether, okay? So later on, she meets with her friend slash manager. She's a manager assistant, yes, friend slash manager. And they're going over her plans and her schedule. And Marlo says that she needs to get Scott Lee in the church because he be out in the streets too much. You know, he's into the nightlife, and she don't want that for her husband. I said, husband, yup, in my Drake voice. And so her friend is like, you thinking about marrying him? Child, I digress. But she explains that his job, part of his job is nightlife, because his restaurant is kind of giving you a loungy vibe. Now, what Marlo also did say is earlier when they were taking a photo shoot and going over Christmas, the boys had mentioned doing something with Scott Lee, and now I can understand kind of wanting to keep the kids separate, but I'm not so sure about this whole Marlo and Scott Lee thing anyway. Sonia and her sister, they're doing the tree, and they're talking about the Portugal trip and the sound bath. And another sidebar, we're gonna get through it, y'all, but another sidebar, I've been catching up on episodes of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, okay? And it's like, what a different type of women, because they're both in Atlanta, both doing sound baths. Now on Love and Hip Hop, in previous episodes, Jessica, who was, you know, with everybody baby daddy, you know who that is, did a sound bath for the girls, and they were like making fun of it. So I just thought that was weird, but different strokes for different folks. So her sister is still fed up with everything that's going on. In her confessional, Sonia is calling her sister the true definition of a Gemini. Hey, I ain't like that, Sonia. Y'all be giving us Geminis, yes, us, a hard time. Like, we're the only ones who are multifaceted. So it's been awkward, but Sonia says she wants to get back to some type of normalcy. Now, I get the vibe that Sonia wants to please Ross, but she really low-key doesn't want her sister to go. But she says that she misses her sister being her #1 fan, but now the sister has other priorities, you know. So they end up hugging it out, and we love to see it. Kandi is over at Blaze, and she gets a visit from none other than Cynthia Bailey. And I miss Cynthia a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing her back on the show in kind of like a friend of role, you know, just popping through in and out, which we did get to see for the next couple episodes. She doesn't really want to talk about her second divorce, but she's back in Atlanta and spending more time at Lake Bailey. She says that she didn't want to say in something where she wasn't happy, but she's a 55-year-old Pisces who just lives for love. Now, part of me wants Cynthia to go like that Oprah route and just be a boss-ass single. Like, you can have your little Stedman on the side too if you want, but I don't think that, you know, you have to necessarily be married to have love. Kandi's invited her to her peach social, celebrating over 10 years of Bedroom Kandi. And she's got a new product, the Peach Buzz. Now, I remember when Kandi's Bedroom Kandi line first came out, I did get that little lipstick, but that was some time ago. But now, since your girl is single and abstinent, Miss Kira might have to go and order her some more stuff, okay? Anywho, Kandi tells her that she's gotten into it with everyone except for Kenya, and of course production is going to roll that beautiful bean footage. She tells her that she and Drew got into it the other day, and apparently Kandi also called Cynthia while she was in Portugal, but Miss Cynthia said she needed her beauty rest, so she had gone on to sleep and she don't remember none of that. So Kandi's telling her about the movie, and then that's how we got to the whole thing about Drew ever kissing a girl. Child, nobody cares. Which also, production has showed us in one of these episodes that Drew did say she kissed a girl, but child, I guess. Kandi doesn't know where her and Drew stand right now, or if she's even going to be in the movie, and Kandi, you know, doesn't like to be called a liar or understand what the big deal is. Cynthia says, well, if you need an actress with some high cheekbones, you know, give her a ring ding ding. She's your girl. And I have seen Miss Bailey in Tubi and all black movies, and 50 Cent Plus is doing the thing, okay? Over at Moore Manor, Kenya is babysitting her cousin Kahari from her dad's side of the family with Brooklyn. Kenya's thinking about having another baby, as we know, and Miss Brooklyn, she's just not used to not being the center of attention. Child, my oldest, when he was little, said he don't want no siblings, and he meant that. No one tells you it really is a conversation that you kind of should include your kids in, whether you listen or not. I mean, at least you know. Anywho, so they're showing footage of Brooklyn just cutting up, and still she's too cute. And in this moment that they're showing us, she is doing very well with little Kahari. Child, in the confessionals between Kenya and Brooklyn, Brooklyn says you want a brother or a sister? I want both. These kids will get you. Over at Drew's house, ironically, she is organizing her closet. Child, when one of her 1,000 assistants asks if they're going to be touching Ralph's side, Drew says she's trying to stay on his good side. Marriage is hard, but let's tidy it up a little bit. Now, producers ask her if she asked Ralph what he was doing in Vegas, and she kind of laughs and says she did, and he said he was working. Now, as of this episode, we're not going to go forward, but now as of this episode, I believe Cousin Courtney was running around doing interviews telling folks that Drew was making up the whole Magic Mike thing and that Ralph was in Vegas just doing business. Drew says, anyway, she's not really trusting him right now, and then he arrives at the closet. He didn't really want them touching his things. The assistants, they go to hydrate, and then Ralph and Drew, they sit down and they start talking about Portugal and how amazing it was, and then they even had a slumber party, and then Kandi says that Drew kissed LaToya. Because you know we was talking about this girl on girl stuff. So, of course, Drew insists that it's not true. And she brings up the bolo night from 2 years ago, and she shows Ralph this text from LaToya where LaToya is saying that they didn't kiss. And child, again, we don't care, because I still insist she could have deleted some things and made the text match. Just my synopsis. Ralph says he doesn't see what the big deal is, and Drew brings up the movie and something about being forced, and I was like, Drew, I be trying to be there with you, but when you keep going with the BS, it's like I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of listening. I'm getting tired of taking of the notes. And at what point are we going to stop with this whole I didn't do it? So back to the Portugal trip and Drew calling Marlo sneaky for recording her and then sending it to LaToya. I think it was in her confessional that Drew gets into Marlo bringing up Ralph and saying how mad Ralph was, but baby, that is not what we saw from Ralph. homeboy did not really look like he cared. And he's wondering how she's going to resolve things with Marlo and Kandi. Drew says she doesn't know, and he asks, how was cousin Courtney? Oh, she's just Courtney for now. And she feels that she should have stepped up to defend Ralph. What Marlo said wasn't that serious. Let me just step out there and say that. But child, okay. Drew knows how to make a moment. Anyway, so Kandi is going over some things when Sheree comes in. And Kandi says she feels like she and Sheree are in a good place. And in her confessional, Sheree agrees, but she wished that Kandi had stuck around for the Portugal trip. I mean, she didn't leave that early. And I mean, Sheree is really nobody's friends anyway, but we shall proceed. We talk about Sheree's boobs, and she went to Kenya and Kandi's doctor. So of course, Sheree brings up the sleepover and the exchange between Kandi and Drew. 2 years ago, there was a kiss, not a passionate kiss, but a kiss nonetheless. And Marlo and Kenya saw, I think that was Kandi that was saying that, and Marlo and Kenya saw the same thing. And we're going to say it for the 1,000th time. We know that Kandi does not like to be called a liar. Sheree says that Drew says she's standing in her truth. And that Kandi's producing again. Yup, in my Drake voice. Kandi says she done lost her doggone mind, and basically it's okay if she's not in the movie. And Sheree is like, yeah, well, Drew said about the same thing. Now Kandi is pissed. Yikes. She hopes that Sheree won't be messy at her event, and she has invited LaToya. Now, I was personally ready to see this whole thing unfold and get to the bottom of it, but it did not give what it's supposed to have gave. So everyone is getting ready, and then it's time for the Peach Social at Kandi's Peach Buzz Museum. Now, I must say, I did like the location for the event. It was at a selfie museum, yes, but you know, typically Miss Kandi don't miss no way. She's got half nude men and half nude women, and it's like they're painted on, and it was just 2 thumbs up for Miss Burris Tucker. The ladies, they come in all different shades of peach, and they're looking cute, and they reminisce on the start of Bedroom Kandi. Kandi says she had a vision, baby. It was taboo back then, but she made it work. So Sheree is sitting there, and she's filling in the ladies about her conversation with Kandi and the Drew situation. And we're just all waiting for it to unfold. So Kandi comes over, and Marlo has a cute little peach pocketbook, and it's all compliments between these two. But in her confessional, Kandi says she's just keeping it cordial because she don't fool with Marlo. She don't fool with Marlo. She shows the ladies her new product, the Peach Buzz, and tells them how to use it. Who could use Bedroom Kandi the most is the question in the confessional. Kenya says Drew and Ralph. Sheree says Kenya, where's Roy? And Sonya's like, probably me and Ross. It's been 20 years, baby. And Sis was in the confessional taking little notes when Kandi was telling how to use it. Like, okay, step 1. It was so funny. I was like, come on, Sonya. That was a cute little moment for Sonya, because Sonya's another one like Drew that be irking my nerves sometimes. So the producers asked Marlo if her and Skyler are having sex, and she says, no, their versions really. What about hand stuff? The producers asked. Ew, like, that's nasty. That's Kandi's thing. And I said, ma'am, child, didn't you used to? Never mind. So Cynthia shows up because she did not want to miss her goodie bag, baby. And then we, got to talk about her and Kenya, because I totally forgot that they fell out during Ultimate Girls Trip, but they saw each other at Teresa's wedding and just kind of reconnected through Cynthia's mom being sick. And then, she found out, and, Kenya's just never going to leave her friend's side ever again. So, of course, the ladies are discussing this Drew and LaToya kiss, and no one cares. And of course, while they're talking about Drew, you know how production does. Drew shows up, and she's got a Kenya throwback on. She has to tell us in the confessional, and she do like biting off of Kenya's style sometimes. It's not the first time. So Ralph goes on over to the bar and Marlo's there and they're getting drinks and they talk about Scott Lee and the truth. And Ralph says that Marlo is his girl. So when Drew came back and said what she said, she was saying that Marlo was disrespectful. No, he felt like Marlo was being disrespectful. And Marlo says, child, you know Drew lies, and tells him about the whole technology comment. And in a nutshell, Ralph laughs it off because, like I said, at the end of the day, Ralph does not really care. So Miss LaToya finally shows up and Marlo escorts her over to the girls, and in her confessional, Drew says she is ready to set the record straight. So LaToya kind of says to Kandi that she's upset with her, and in Speak On It, Kandi said that she meant about the last minute invite, but she says that she didn't have an opportunity to defend herself because she wasn't on the Portugal trip. Like I said, Kandi said that wasn't what that went with, but we gonna go with it. So Kandi takes LaToya away into another room because she's like, y'all not about to mess up my event. Drew sits on LaToya's lap, and I was like, I mean, because, you know. LaToya asked, like, what's really going on? Is LaToya gonna tell the truth or throw me under the bus? Drew is asking in her confessional. And then is another inappropriate dungeon conversations, and Drew, I'm gonna need you to stop that. Winding this thing on down because this is like the end of the episode. So Don Juan goes to get Marlo so she can get to the nitty gritty. LaToya goes over how she and Drew started toxic and the relationship became bipolar. And then we get to Marlo sending the videos. Marlo says she wanted LaToya to see how Drew really feels about her. And LaToya's like giving fake. Drew says that the video is edited. And I said, baby, there is no extent that Drew won't go to, and this shit is not even that serious. She says something about Marlo sending clips, but to my knowledge, on a phone, you can only send a video that's but so long. So I'm assuming that's why there was multiple messages, but y'all can get down in the comments and correct me if I'm wrong. So Marlo is like, she is sick of the lies, and she just goes back to join the other guests. Candy's like, kiss what you want, who you want, where you want. She don't give a rat's patoot. But what y'all not about to do is call her a liar. She brings up what Sheree said about Drew saying that it was, you know, anyway. And then Drew's like, well, you know, Kandi, when you speak, it makes an impact. Y'all gonna stop using that one too. So then LaToya is asking Drew, like, do you think Kandi is genuine? And she's like, yeah, I do. So why don't you believe her? That is a very good question, LaToya. And Drew says that she thinks that Kandi was fantasizing. Kandi wants to throw up. And I mean, LaToya didn't say that they didn't kiss, how Drew made it seem in the text. So I was kind of like, this goes to what I was saying. That ain't what she said. And that text was edited. So Kandi says, let's just agree to disagree. And they go back to the parties. Producers ask Drew why Kandi and LaToya claim that they kiss. Drew brings up the after show, and child, I don't think I watched an after show all season. I gotta go catch up because I heard there's some little juicy tidbits in the after shows. So they're playing the footage, and Drew basically says that her and LaToya weren't cool, so that's where it all came from. But because Kandi was kind of like, I could have swore I seen y'all kiss, and I think LaToya was like, oh, and then she was like, okay, maybe I'm mistaken, but that's not given I'm lying or I got it wrong. That's given like, okay, if that's your version of the story, I'm gonna let you have it. It's not the truth, but child, you know, y'all gonna say I ride for Kandi. So Drew insists that it never happened. She doesn't like people lying on her, basically, and that is where the episode ends. Child, Drew done drug this thing out way longer than she needed to. So next episode, we're gonna get on to the movie and the retreat. So leave your thoughts down in the comment section, or just let me know that you stopped by. Now, by the time I get this video up, Todd and Kandi's movie The Pass is going to be on Peacock, so go ahead and check it out, and I will probably do like a live recap in like next couple of days or so from the time this video comes out. So like I said, go check out the movie The Pass on Peacock and come back here and catch your girl in the next one. Peace.